Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 3, text 18. Naiva tasya kritenartho na kritene hakaschana na chasya sarva bhuteshu kaschid artha vipashrayaha. A self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill in the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. A self-realized man is no longer obliged to perform any prescribed duty, save and except activities in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is not inactivity either, as will be explained in the following verses. A Krishna conscious man does not take shelter of any person, man or demigod. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. Whatever he does in Krishna consciousness is sufficient in the discharge of his obligation. So a self-realized man, this is a pure devotee. A pure devotee he's going to do whatever is needed for him to do. Whatever position he is in, he'll do the best of the ability, to the best of his ability for the pleasure of Krishna. Not that, okay, now I'm a devotee, so I will give up my responsibilities. No, I will do it because this is what is the pleasure for Krishna. So let me do it for the pleasure of Krishna. You know? Anyone wants to comment on this?
Hare Krishna, nor does he depend on any other living being. Mm-hmm. I mean, we all depend on each other, no? This is a material world and we all need each other to serve, to be, it's like you make prasadam for Krishna, but, sharing it, or you're singing kirtan, we have a kirtan class, or like now we are attending all together. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, giving a lecture to your own self, I mean, could you specify like how we can collaborate to be in harmony with other living beings in Krishna consciousness?
So thanks. Thank you. Very important, because not that we should try to think, okay, I'm independent and I don't need anybody, but to understand that all whoever is cooperating with me, whatever is happening, and all the other living entities, everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. Everyone is part and parcel of Krishna. We are all instruments in the hands of Krishna. Everything is being arranged by his will. So again, continuing with the same, that it's Krishna's will. So of course, I mean, not disregarding or disrespecting the others, but understanding that each one of us is an instrument in the hands of Krishna.
Okay. All right. So sometimes the people you're trying to, trying to preach and may not be so favorable as other people who are coming forward to you. So just accept it as a will of Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, is that?
Yes. Yeah. That's the will of Krishna.
So we are dependent on each other, right? I mean, every living entity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like that. Yes, we are. We are dependent on everyone, but just trying to understand that the origin, the master director, who's the director? We are all actors. We are doing all our part. And the director is directing all of us. You know how there's a play, and then each is playing the part which is given to them by the director. So like that. Not we respect from ant to Lord Brahma. We need to respect everyone. We don't need to disregard. We should not disregard anyone. But we are dependent only on Krishna. We are dependent on Krishna. Each of us is dependent on Krishna. But yes, there are other living entities who are helping us so much, maintaining us, taking care of us, but understanding that they are also parts and parcel of Krishna. But not to undermine their position, not to undermine the efforts they are putting. Like everyone is putting so much efforts. For example, you are putting so much effort to maintain us, so we are dependent on you, but not to undermine that, but also to understand that you are also a part of Krishna.
Krishna is maintaining me, so that's why I can do what I can do.
Yes, so then that's how it is then. So each of us is dependent actually on Krishna.
I think the difficult part is trying to expect or trying to change somebody to think in the same way. So I think we should be less stressful and say, okay, do what you have to do, what makes you happy, and connect everything to Krishna. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it's also you continue preaching, like doing what you have to do.
Yes. See, because we have this tendency to control, right? That I'm telling you this such a great knowledge. Why don't you take it? I'm so right and you're so wrong. Take it. Then again, that's our controlling mentality, which is the reason we are here.
So first of all, inner peace, and then the outer peace.
Yeah. So, of course, we try our best to give knowledge, to give Krishna to others, and they'll accept it whenever it's time for them to accept it. Because every one of us each and every living entity is a devotee. Each and every living entity has a loving relationship with Krishna. It's just a matter of time. How long do we want to stay away from him?
And when and how they will accept it, I mean to say, when and how they will realize it.
Yeah. Our duty, Lord Chaitanya is not saying make sure that somebody becomes a devotee. No, he's not saying that. He's just saying, Yare dekha tare kaha Krishna. He's just say Hare Krishna. By saying Hare Krishna, they heard Hare Krishna, something is already happening in their consciousness. And when they take it up, that's their individual choice. That's between them and Krishna. That's not in our hands, and that's not our concern also. It's not our concern. Doesn't mean that we are hard-hearted. No, it doesn't. It's not a reflection of hard-heartedness, but just a reflection of everyone has their individual choice. So we can't impose our ideas or our whatever on others. It's just what that.
Well, we are so taught that what is right, what is wrong, we try to impose what is right. Since childhood, we are taught in schools, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong. So maybe we have that mentality of, saying, I'm right, you're wrong, or this is the right way to do, this is the wrong way to do, or this is not the right.
Yeah, it's right what you said. It's true. It's very deep in us. Oh, I'm so right and you're so wrong, and you should follow what I'm saying. But then we can see Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. How were they preaching? How were they preaching? Not telling us, oh, you fools, you rascals, what are you all doing? No, Lord Nityananda, he's begging door to door with a grass in his mouth and humbly begging, please chant Krishna's name. Bolo Krishna, kaho Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha. He's begging the people. So in a humble state of mind, we can give Krishna to others in humility, with humility. Prabhupada also very humble, so compassionate, so humble. That's the reason people were able to take up Krishna consciousness. But if we try to judge others, I'm so right and you're so wrong, what are you doing? Then we are putting like a judgmental this, and then we are blocking the others. Because we all get defensive, right? Why do you think you're right? I'm right. Each of us thinks that, So even if I'm really right, even if you're really right, I'll say, I have a right to my own thoughts, my own feelings, So I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. And then we will get more and more defensive, more and more defensive.
Normally, the other spiritualists, they will go to the books, or no, not spiritualists, sorry, those who are trying to show their knowledge of religion is more higher. They say, come, we refer to the books. So that would be a first proper stage. But humility, like you said, is the way to preach, I feel, like instead of fighting and, like saying, no, I'm right because you look, this is written, because many people misinterpret the verses also sometimes,
Yeah, and you know what? If we are being very judgmental and we are being very like righteous, then people are going to be like, what? If you're following this and that's who you become, then why should I follow you, why should I don't want to become because each of us is always anyways judgmental. Each of us is already like fed up of our own lower qualities, and we are trying to look for a good example to follow. So we have to be a good example. Preaching, Lord Chaitanya said that, I learned that in the Bhakti Shastri, that preaching is done by example, not by what we say. We have to become the example. Speaking, we can't, a person will not be able to retain much of what we speak, but they will remember how we made them feel. So we have to try. It's not easy. It's really difficult, but we have to try. We have to try that. And that's what pleases Krishna.
Yeah, because I feel that even the books, they keep changing. Like you have in Bible, they have New Testament and this Testament. I try to tell people, please stop eating meat. It's not good. And they say, oh, it was written in the Bible. Okay. So the Bible first says, thou shalt not kill. And now they say, thou shalt not murder. So they try to play a trick in that. Okay, murder is like killing animals. Animals is okay. I mean, murder is like killing human beings. And killing is like, okay, because we have to eat. But I think in a better way, I try to tell them that, do you feel pain if somebody, do you feel pain when somebody tries to hurt you? They said, yes. So I said, the animals also have sentiments. They feel pain when you eat them. And I think that then they try to understand a little more in a humbler way, and they understand, okay, what's the point to fight with the Bible on what's in the New Testament or the Old Testament? And just try to explain to them it's just your taste. And if you change gradually, instead of, arguing or saying that the Bible this and that, and just try to change your taste and try to understand that animals have sentiments, because many people who have animals like dogs and cats and all that, they are really loving. They are in love with them. I said, you love your pet. Just imagine if I was from an illiterate background and I tried to think of eating your pet. They say, it was so gross. You're not a human. I said, other animals also have sentiments. If you develop a relationship with any animal, they will start loving you. And we all have to share that love. So, I mean, sometimes religion, sometimes the people argue based on that, but I don't think we get anywhere on that. I think the best thing is to just, like you said, like behave properly and be humble and be loving heart. And people try to know you better. I mean, they try to understand, oh, you're so peaceful and you're so loving, what religion you're in, I mean, that's very true, like being the example. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and you're saying then, right, you use the right example that, oh, would you eat your dog? So that to bring them to think, to make people think then, because many don't think. There's so much advertising. We are just so blinded by the politicians, by the media, by everything. So we don't think. And then you made them think, oh, would you eat your dog? If not, then why would you eat a chicken, or why would you eat a pig? They're the same animals. So there's some way or the other, it will register in the consciousness, and it might take time, but some way or the other, it will sprout up, will help them.
Well, it's a little difficult, but I always try to tell them that try to be a vegetarian. Like I remember at least when I was growing up, mother used to say, okay, Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays or whatever days, don't eat meat. And I used to feel, why? I mean, I feel like eating it today, but why not? But maybe that was a gradual process so that you can have a practice that eventually you become a vegetarian. I mean, there are many people who follow that and say, okay, observe this on a couple of days. So it's like a gradual process to practice to become a better person, So now I understand better, because people would be so blunt and say either you're veg or non-veg, and that hits you after a certain time. Oh, I can be veg, so why I have to observe only 2 days? I can be all, because it's the ultimate. I mean, it's exactly what I'm looking for. I mean, you practice, and then if somebody says, if you can chant 16 rounds, they say, sure, I can chant 16 rounds. But if you get time and you can chant 30 rounds, and you say, I have the time for it, so why not? And that's what I'm looking for. So, you get a little higher knowledge once you follow with practice, a little bit of practice of everything. So I try to tell people, okay, try being a vegetarian, because many people have fear or misconceptions of things. And I said, tell me how you feel after a week or 10 days when you become fully veg. And they said, you know what? I didn't want to go back to eating. I mean, the people have a gradual step, like from red meat to white meat to being seafoods and all that. These are all basics, but these are the problems we face today's world. I mean, at least to the people I'm in touch with. I'm not so elevated to get in people who are so realized souls, but living a day in, day out life, traveling and meeting all of people all around the world. These are some basics, because the 4 principles even to follow sometimes are not so easy for everybody,
Yeah, it's true. It's not. And that's the reason Prabhupada had to, he said that it's true. We didn't even know that these 4 principles had to be followed, but they are there. It's true. Yeah. So thank you for sharing your experiences and how you're helping others.
Thank you.
It's good. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.